I saw there were a few people in the chat, so I thought I'd go live a little bit early to chat to you all. I hope you're all doing well. My lighting's a little bit odd, isn't it? How do we sort that? Better? Might put a little light on over there. 2 seconds. That might be it. Can't hear me. I think that might be your problem. I've got sound. Hope we're all doing well. Let us know how your game week 6 has gone so far. I keep forgetting what game week it is. I'm pretty sure I titled it the correct name. Yeah, game week 6 reaction. How have we gotten on? Let me know in the chat. Here's how my team has done. NS, that's your problem, mate. So here's how I've done. So using Fantasy Football Hub to do this, there should be a link at the top of your description below to sign up yourself. I get you 50% off and your money back if you don't win your mini leagues. I think that's a pretty good deal. Morning, Tom, Nixie, everyone's here. Good to see you all. I'm currently 2 millionth overall, so we've gone up 400,000 places, but I don't really know how today is going to go because I've got Raya and Gabriel, no Arsenal attack. I've got 4 left to play. So I don't know if I'm better or worse than the average of players left to play. So if you wouldn't mind, let me know how many players you've got left to play in the chat. That will help me realise how good my team's looking. How have you gotten on, Tom? My Richarlison punt didn't quite work out. Going back, I'd make the same decision. I had a team all week that had Gyökeres in place instead of Richarlison, and I thought, well, I had 4 free transfers in the bank before hitting the wildcard button. So I thought, why not? You know, a 1 week punt on Richarlison. I wasn't particularly excited about Gyökeres. I was in a place where I was almost considering benching Gyökeres anyway. So I just thought I'd use a transfer next week to bring him in for Richarlison. I thought the Spurs fixture against Wolves was prime plum fixture. You know, Wolves are not in, well, going into the game, were looking like one of the whipping boys of the league. Could anyone have predicted that? I don't think so. So yeah, 2-pointer for Richarlison, unfortunately. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah, other things to note. Well, we got Senesi, who obviously didn't keep a clean sheet, but he got DEFCON and an assist, so came away with a 7-pointer. I don't know how you guys feel, but I genuinely think, pound for pound, Senesi is the best defender in FPL right now. He's hit DEFCON every game. Not necessarily keeping a clean sheet every game, but still pumping in the points. He's really good. I think he's possibly the best. Yeah, possibly the best defender in the game. Bruno Fernandes. I made a video last night alongside FPL Tom. I'm sure Tom might have had the same. We're both big on Bruno Fernandes. He obviously had a -1 this week, right? But if he scored the 2 penalties that he's missed this season, we'd all be thinking he's 100% nailed on in our teams, right? He's missed 2 penalties. It's a roll of the dice luck thing, in my opinion. We pick him because he takes penalties, and historically he's got a really good record. Yeah, I'm considering it unlucky as opposed to a lack of skill. But you can say that's cope if you want in the chat. Reinders, I was expecting a little bit more from him against Burnley, to be honest. Of all the players I've got in my team, so Caicedo, because of his consistency with DEFCON, was pretty much nailed on. But Reinders, I was of the mind that maybe I could go a bit different from Reinders because he's not necessarily like nailed on for DEFCON every game, and he's not massively attacking either. So I was a little bit disappointed with Reinders. I won't lie. It's what it is. Semenyo, I mean, I said Senesi's probably the best defender in the game. I think Semenyo's possibly the best midfielder in the game. Another open play goal. I think he's got 6 attacking returns from 6 starts this season. Took the last penalty for Bournemouth, albeit Clivert started yesterday, so he could well be on penalties. Obviously, a blank for João Pedro. 2 goals and an assist for Haaland. 32 points as my captain. I am very, very glad that I was banging the drum that absolutely everyone needed to have Haaland in their team to captain this week, and it paid off. I know he scored his 2 goals at the end of the game, but going back to my score predictions, I think I was pretty much bang on with the Man City Burnley score. I had them winning 5-0, and I think it was pretty close to that in the end, wasn't it? I feel a bit unlucky with Richarlison. No one, I don't think, could have predicted Wolves to show up in the way that they did in that game. It was a 1-week punt. He's going to Gyökeres next week. I've got all the money in the bank to do it. It was just a 1-week punt with the spare transfers I had. Not much to talk about on my bench other than Caicedo not hitting DEFCON this week. We've still got Anderson to play. One thing I am a little bit... I don't know how you feel, Tom, if you're still in the chat, but I went Anderson on my wild card, and I think I should have gone Chris Richards. I was a little bit worried about Europe, but just seeing the way Palace are playing defensively, I mean, keeping Liverpool fairly quiet, getting DEFCON points. Richards is really good, isn't he, at 4.5 million? But they've got Europe, which is the reason why I went for Anderson. But yeah, frustrating. And Rodon with a goal. I mean, could anyone have predicted Rodon scoring a goal this week? 7 points on my bench. It is what it is. But yeah, Chris Richards looks really good for Palace. I mentioned him on my buy and avoid video in my players to buy short, but I think he and Senesi are two of the best defenders in the game. And I'm almost of the mind, could I have picked Chris Richards instead of Tarkowski and, upgraded elsewhere? That could have been something I did. How many people have got Rodon on their bench? That is the question. Let's have a quick look at the chat while I got my team up. So we'll put that on screen so you can see everything. Does he still take pens? I think that's a really good shout about Man United. I do think they need to change things up to make themselves a bit less predictable. And one of the things they could do is change their penalty taker. Like they've got Mbeumo in the team, who arguably is as good, if not better, than Bruno at penalties based on recent records. He could take the next one, to be fair. The amount of penalties United, yeah, that's fair. But I don't know. United feel like a team just in general that get a lot of penalties. Do you remember when Bruno first joined Man United? I know the team is very different. The amount of penalties he got, I just think Man United are a team that get a lot of penalties. Just my opinion. We need Amorim to get sacked. I am also a fan of two teams. Man United is my Premier League team, or the team that I support in the Premier League. And I just think the system doesn't work with the players that they've got. They're so open in midfield all the time. It just doesn't work. If you want to get the best out of Bruno Fernandes, he is a number 10 in a 4-2-3-1, isn't he? That is what Bruno Fernandes does. And in his best, when Man United were at their best with him playing at their best, he was a number 10 in behind a number 9, and that should be the case. He needs two midfielders behind him to help him out. I just don't think the Amorim system suits. What else we got in the chat? Lee Palace's Sarr is back. Yeah, Ismaila Sarr looks really good. Is that 3 goals in 4 games he scored? And I think no Eze is benefiting him because he's going to have... Oh, sorry, Semenyo scored a free kick, my bad. Not from penalties, sorry. What else was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought now because I got that wrong. Yeah, Ismaila Sarr looks good. 90-minute man for Palace, but they do have Europe, which is the same sort of factor as Richards, isn't it? How much of his minutes are impacted by Europe, I suppose. But Ismaila Sarr's a good player. And I didn't think, to be honest, Liverpool was the fixture to bring him in for, but he's done really well. So that's my team. I've done a bit of chat. Should we have a look at the fixtures, talk about each of the games? I haven't had time necessarily to watch all of the highlights, but I've done my best. Maybe we can chat about them in the chat as well. So first up, we got Brentford. I'm going to zoom in. Brentford 3, Man United 1. 2 goals for Igor Thiago. We didn't talk about him because he's not in my team, but I think 6 million this guy is. He scored 4 goals so far this season, albeit from 2 games, I think it is. But he looks decent. Brentford always, they always seem to replace their leaving players. And they didn't even sign him this summer. But I think he's a really good option. And in terms of Brentford penalties, I think Sharda took the last one when both Thiago and Sharda were on the pitch. But when Sharda wasn't on the pitch, Thiago took a pen. Basically, Sharda missed the penalty when they were both on the pitch. With all that together, I think there's a case that Thiago could take the next penalty for Brentford. That was a long-winded way of saying I think he's on pens, but I do. I think there's a chance that he could take the next Brentford penalty. And he's 6 million. He's going to play every game, 90 minutes. They don't have Europe. I think there's a good chance, that he could take penalties. Not really too much to talk about on Brentford, I don't think, unless you had Kelleher. He came away with an 8-pointer for the penalty save, but he's not had a great set of returns this season so far. Obviously, the missed pen for Bruno. Again, if Bruno had scored the 2 pens that he's missed this season, I think we'd all have him in our teams and he wouldn't be getting any hate. And I think with penalties in particular, it's a run of luck, isn't it? It's a bit of a luck game. You know, you're relying on players to score penalties. It's unlucky when they miss them. Yeah, I've got not much more to say on that. He got 11 DEFCONs as well, so he's 1 away from the cut-off. I mean, so frustrating, isn't it? XGI per 96 at 0.76. He's been 1 off DEFCON. He's missed 2 penalties, been 1 off DEFCON twice. It's just a frustrating start, but he's got Sunderland. I just don't care about Bruno. I think I'm going to keep Bruno all season, to be honest. He will come good. Delict. There's not much point talking about him. Yarmoliuk got DEFCON as well, but I just don't want to talk about that game much more. I think that's probably a good summary. Brighton beating Chelsea 3-1. Enzo Fernandez, who I tell you what, I was of the mind of, instead of having either Caicedo or Reinders, having Enzo Fernandez in my team, because with no Palmer, I think he's going to have more attacking responsibilities, which we saw. And also, I think he's going to take penalties. I think while Palmer's out, he's a really good option. I could have gone for him and I didn't. And obviously he scored, got a 9-pointer. It wasn't just the goal, he amassed 1.48 XG in that game. Across the season so far, his XGI per 90 is 0.66. And in a couple of games, Fulham and West Ham, he's amassed over 1 XGI. I just think he looks really good for 6.7 million. But would you pick him or Ismaila Sarr? I'd probably pick Ismaila Sarr, to be fair. Yeah. A red card for Chalobah, of course, so that ruined the game basically for Chelsea. And then Welbeck with a brace, De Kuyper with a goal. Minte with another assist. So Minte's quietly having a decent start to the season. 0.47 XGI. Only 1 goal, 2 assists in total, but he does look good for Brighton. Does Minte? He's probably my standout Brighton asset at the moment, I would probably say. Obviously Welbeck had a good game, but I just don't think he's quite there. I love your videos, but your mic isn't great. Is the mic not great again? It's just my settings, mate. I'm trying really hard to fix it. Let's see if we can down the suppression level even more to see if that picks up my voice better. Anything else to say on that game? I don't think so. I just don't trust the Chelsea defence, and I'm quite glad that I got rid of Sanchez, to be honest. Palace 2, Liverpool 1. This was the shock result of the day, I suppose, wasn't it? A goal for Sarr, last minute equaliser or winner for Nketiah. Yeah, interesting game that. Palace have got Liverpool's number, haven't they? And I'm pretty sure, am I not mistaken in saying that Palace are undefeated in 17 games? Is that correct? They haven't lost for like 17 games or something crazy. Yeah. Palace play how United wish they played. They do. I think it's partly down to the fact that they've got a good midfield. Sigma, just go back to the start of the stream to see my teammate. 18 games unbeaten. There you go. Sarr and Nketiah with the goals. Obviously, Sarr's back fit now. He played 74 minutes, so he's being eased back into things. Fixture run's not too bad. I think outside of the Arsenal game in 9, they're decent. Chiesa with the goal for Liverpool. Another quiet game for all of those Liverpool attackers. Salah owners, Gakpo benched, Wirtz did nothing again, Isak did nothing. Liverpool, I don't know. I must say, in the games I've seen of Liverpool in the Premier League, why are you asking to see my team? I've answered your question, mate. You can be gone. I'm going to put you in a timeout. And do that. Yeah, yellow cards. I don't think anyone cares about yellow cards today. DEFCON. So Van Dijk got DEFCON again. But Liverpool are not great defensively. So they're averaging over one XG conceded per game. They were 2.92 expected goals conceded yesterday. He's getting the DEFCON, but not looking that great, I don't think, Liverpool, I've got to say. I think they're still adjusting to they're still adjusting to how many new players they've got, I think. Anything else to note? Gravenberch with another assist, so he's doing okay for points. But I don't know. What do you think about Gravenberch? Could you pick him? Just not sure. And then we talked about Crystal Palace players. Lacroix, Mitchell and Richards getting DEFCON, and Gahey as well. Gahey's points this season have been outrageous. He's up to 4.8 million now. But yeah, his points this season have been outrageous. So he's got 43 points so far, averaging 7.83 DEFCON, but he's hit it twice. Attacking returns as well. He's got three clean sheets, 1 goal, 2 assists. Ridiculous. But I do think my standout of the Palace defenders, just because I don't think Gahey's returns are going to be all that consistent throughout the season, I think it's Chris Richards. 30 points, hasn't got a single attack and return yet, but he's hitting DEFCON really consistently. So, 3 of 6 games he's hit it, so 50% of the time, but he's averaging 10.5 per game. I just think Chris Richards looks great, and he's still 4.5 million. What's his ownership? 2.7%. Outrageous. He's really good. And you look at those fixtures coming up, there's some clean sheets there, isn't there? The only thing is Europe, right? I had a 50-50 call between him and Anderson on my wild card, and I went for Anderson just because Fulham don't have European football. I do just think that Palace are great defensively, don't they? By the way, we've got 250 people in here at the moment, which is amazing. 260 now. If you haven't already, please leave a like rating on the stream. We've got 30 likes. Let's see if we can get to 100 by the end of the stream. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Goal and Goal channel. Let's see how many we're on. I reckon we could do 18,000 by the end of the weekend. What do you think? Let's see what we're on. 17,947. Let's see if we can get to 18,000 subscribers. That would be unreal if we could do that. I'd appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. Well done, Glenn. He's on a green arrow. We love that. So that's Palace, Liverpool. Came through there loads of games yesterday. Leeds 2, Bournemouth 2. Another goal for Semenyo. A goal for Krupi Jr. off the bench as well. He played 6 minutes and scored. Interesting one on Krupi Jr. You know, a goal off the bench. He could be slowly pushing himself towards the starting 11, I think, because I don't think Evan Nilsson has done all that much. So yeah, we could, I don't know, if Krupi Jr. keeps banging him in off the bench, we could get a starting 4.5 million striker, which would be interesting. Semenyo with another goal. I didn't watch the highlights, so Nixie corrected me, and it was from a free kick. Goals for Rodon and Longstaff, not the predicted goal scorers you'd have down for Leeds. Petrovic, I do quite like him as a keeper shout in the game, you know. Bournemouth not too bad defensively. Less than one expected goal conceded per game. They're doing better than Liverpool are. They got hammered a little bit defensively by Leeds, but I think he's a decent shout. For me, he's probably my pick of the 4.5 million keepers, I'll be honest. But obviously, standouts for me for Bournemouth were Semenyo and Senesi. Senesi hitting DEFCON again. The guy's just outrageous. So 2 points, 9 points, 14, 3, 9, 7. Even without keeping many clean sheets, he's still racking up the points. And he's averaging 13.5 DEFCON per game. Who could have predicted at the start of the season that Senesi would probably be the best defender in FPL? It's outrageous, isn't it? But he looks really good. Semenyo, he's probably the best midfielder in FPL. XGI is a little bit low compared to the amount of returns that he's gotten, to be fair. So it suggests probably a little bit of overperformance, but the guy's been outrageous. No Europe. Next 3 are pretty good in terms of fixtures. Looks good. They've replaced the players that they've lost really well as well. Truffert coming in for Kirkes. I think Truffert looks like he's played in the Premier League all his career. I think he looks really solid. They've obviously got Senesi, who was injured. I think he did his ACL for last season, so he's out for quite a period. He's an experienced Premier League centre-half. He's done a really good job, I think. Diakite as well, someone said Diakite. Who said Diakite? I've missed it. Sorry. He's looked really good as well, and also done okay for DEFCON. Not quite on the level of Senesi, but he's up there as well. That probably sums up that game. Harmony's probably happy with how Leeds have done. Would you? I know Harmony's a big Leeds fan. Would you have any Leeds players in your team other than Rodon? We move on to Man City 5, Burnley 1. I predicted that Man City would score 5 goals in that game, so that's quite good to see. Haaland with a brace, all in like the 90th minute and gone, which, yeah, I'll take those points. I'm glad he did that, because that was a scary game, I think, if he didn't have Haaland. 2 goals for him, and obviously the assist for... Should have got the assist, yeah, he got the assist as well. Esteve, I think he had one of the worst FOTMob ratings I've ever seen. Unfortunate, but 2 own goals for him. I don't think he actually played terribly. He just scored 2 own goals. They did score through Jadon Anthony, actually. I spoke about Jadon Anthony on my buy and avoid video, but he's not necessarily put up the best underlying numbers, but he scored 4 Premier League goals in 6 games so far and 1 assist. He's not done too badly as Jadon Anthony, and he is 3.6% owned in the game. It's amazing that he's got that much ownership, to be fair. 3 bonus points went to Haaland. Esteve, despite his 2 own goals, did get DEFCON, so that protected him from -4 points. Yeah, it's probably the main talking points from that game. Foden, I think Foden owners, a bit unlucky really, to be honest. I think Foden was a really good shout for this week. Just didn't really get involved in the game too much based on those stats. 0 XG and 0.17 XA just wasn't his game, but I thought he was a really good option. And if you went for him with this game in mind, I consider yourself a little bit unlucky. Not that that makes it better, but that'd be my view. 2 more games to go then. Sunderland 1, Forest 0. I was quite close to putting Elderete in my team. 17 points for him. Absolutely outrageous. So goal, clean sheet, and DEFCON. He's averaging 10.9 DEFCON per game. Hit it in the last 4 games. These Sunderland defenders are doing pretty well for DEFCON. Mukiele just missed it. Elliot Anderson got 15, so he hit DEFCON again. So he came away with a 3-pointer. I think he got a yellow card in that game. He must have done. Yeah, yellow card for him. Xhaka with a 20 DEFCON. So he's quietly going about the points, isn't he? What's his DEFCON looking like? Yeah, beast in it. Doing pretty well. And yeah, he is a great signing for Sunderland, isn't he? And Sunderland look like they're probably actually going to stay up, which is nice to see based on how they're playing. Anything else to talk about? I just get rid of my Forest players at this point, to be honest with you. I don't think I would be keeping my Forest players. Chris Wood started. Some people not necessarily expecting him to play, although we did amass 0.74 XG. Still not doing too badly with the underlying data, but I'd probably sack him off. It's quite a disaster what's happened at Forest, really, after sacking Nuno. Shock. It's been hard to adapt to his style and his style for a team that were quite defensive under Nuno. Finally, we got Spurs 1, Wolves 1. Took a last-minute equaliser from Polinia to get the game back for Spurs. Thought Wolves looked pretty damn good in this game, to be honest. Maybe a little bit of underestimation of them from Spurs. I personally, as you can see in my team, I went for Richarlison on a 1-week punt because I've got a load of transfers to use. So I put him in on my wild card, expecting the world, and he obviously didn't deliver. So yeah, that was disappointing, but it's what it is. Is what it is. Nothing really to talk about from a Wolves point of view. Did Strand Larsen start the game? Porro got benched, of course. I think just Spurs are such a minefield with the amount of players that they have now. For me, it's Romero and Van der Ven would be the only 2 that are kind of nailed on. Kudus, he played 90 as well, but even then I think he's due a benching at some point. Richarlison I wouldn't trust. I think Solanke, Kolo Muani in the ranks as well. I'd just be worried. I'd be worried. Strand Larsen I think could come good. He played 83 minutes. I think he just ticks all the boxes of a good FPL asset. I know it wasn't his game against Spurs, but fixtures he's got coming up. A lot of people went for him at the start of the season because he plays 90 minutes, takes penalties, going to play every game, no European football. Those things still apply with Strand Larsen. So I just bear that in mind. But yeah, I'm glad I got rid of Porro on my wild card, that's for sure. I think getting rid of Sanchez and Porro on my wild card. Two of the main reasons that I did it, along with getting rid of Watkins and Rodgers as well. I feel a bit vindicated in that decision already, although I am quite worried about Watkins and Rodgers against Fulham. I think it's set up for both of them to score now. So yeah, what do we reckon is going to happen in that game? I think they're both going to score. So yeah, that's a summary of the games. I'll just try and read the chat very quickly. Good morning, Juntal. It's Thiago. I've just spoke about Thiago, mate. Yeah, Foden is still a good pick, I'd agree. This was the prime fixture for him, but at the same time, he's got good fixtures coming up. And I think with the injuries that City have, he's going to be in the team fairly regularly. Any suggestions on who to replace Siemens with if I have Njai, Bruno, Caicedo and Rangers? Semenyo, if you can. Yeah, I'll go Semenyo. I have 5 free transfers. Should I sell Salah and Wood to bring in Saka and Gyökeres? I think Gyökeres, I just wait until Arsenal play, but I do think that's a couple of good transfers. Harmonies on Strand Larson. Is 51 points with 5 players to go any good? I've got 51 with 4 and I'm pretty happy, mate. So, yeah, I'd say so. Enzo Fernandez is a good shout as well, as Glenn said. I benched Watkins and played Anderson, so Watkins better not score. Blimey, that's an interesting one. Is KDH to Bruno a no-brainer? I'd probably still bring Bruno in, to be honest. Play Senesi Fulham at home or play Sarr Everton away? Senesi. As a Villa fan, Fulham is our biggest team to beat, and if we don't, we're in bigger trouble than people think. Fair enough. Is João Pedro a sell? Not for me, no. We got a quiz. Does anyone want to do the quiz? I've got 5 quiz questions based on what's happened in Game Week 6. Just bear with a second. Yeah, that's a fair shout, actually, Alex, on the Villa team. I think there is a fair shout that they might not play. That would be good if I've wildcarded, I suppose. Should we do the quiz? I'm going to do the quiz. All right, then. First question. Who is the top scoring player in Game Week 6 so far? I'm just going to check that I got this correct. Yeah, we're all good. I'm correct. Guesses are flying in. The answer is Alderete. So Haaland got 16. Lots of people saying Haaland. It was actually Alderete. He finished on 17. So 1 more point for him than Erling Haaland. So well done, everyone that said Alderete. Next question. Can anyone guess who that is? One day it's going to be John Terry. I keep forgetting every time I do these graphics that John Terry is going to be an option. I'm looking. No one's got it yet. I'm going to do it now. Or someone's just got it as I revealed it. It's João Palhinha. Well done. So, who said it first? Someone said it. I've lost it in the messages now. Someone said it. I've lost them. Edwin said it, and Alex said it as well. I don't know if Alex said it as I changed screens, but well done, everyone that said Palhinha. That's a great guess. All right. Who was the most purchased player ahead of Game Week 6? Who had the most transfers in? Who was the most bought player ahead of Game Week 6? Everyone's saying the same thing. It is, of course, Erling Haaland. He is the most transferred in and most captained player ahead of game week 6. So well done everyone that said that. 22 million transfers were made this week, which is an insane number. Next question. Who is that? Can anyone guess who that is? I'll let the guesses come. I'm just going to check something. Check Twitter on my phone real quick. 2 seconds. It is Thiago. A lot of people got that right. So well done, everyone that said Igor Thiago. Good guess. It was indeed Igor Thiago. Right, final question. He plays. It looks like he's got one ear. It's just the angle of the photo. Okay. So can anyone guess this? To the nearest 10,000. Obviously, wildcard in Game Week 6 was really popular in the game. But to the nearest 10,000, how many wildcards were played in Game Week 6? What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Sorry, just got something to deal with. There we go. I think there's someone in this chat that's cheating. But we'll see. The answer is 750,000. So if you said 740, 750, or 760, you would be correct. So that's the quiz. 5 quiz questions. Let us know. Let us know how you scored. Let us know how you scored. I'm just for the avoidance of doubt, we're just going to pick my team for next week. We're just going to pick my team for next week. Optimize that team. I think I'm going to go Richarlison out for Gyökeres. What's going on? Richarlison out for Gyökeres. And that's going to be my team for next week, just for the avoidance of doubt. I think Caicedo probably takes the bench again. I need to get that bench boost in at some point. I don't think Game Week 7 is the week to bench boost. Game Week 8 could be. Dubravka and Rodon playing each other. Game Week 9 could be as well. So 8 or 9 I could, or 10. 8 or 9 are my bench boost weeks, I think. So yeah, hopefully get that bench boost in soon and use it up as well. You're playing Pedro? Yeah, of course, mate. Why would you not play João Pedro? Why would you not? Zoom that in a bit. There we go. There we go. So we've looked at my team, how I got on. We looked at the games, talked through the games. We did a quiz. I usually make these streams about 45 minutes, so we've got another 10 minutes to go. I'm just going to have a look at the chat, see what you guys have got to say. Let us know how you did this week, how many points you got, what your current rank is. Mine's there. I'm quite happy with 2 millionth at Game Week 6. I've got 4 players left to play. 4 good options, I think. Tarkowski and Gabriel should hopefully score some points alongside Raya, and I'm hoping Njai does the same. So I'm relatively optimistic about my chances this week. Yeah, we'll see. I am a little bit worried about Gyökeres, though. I've got a feeling because I went against him this week that he's going to do something. I won't be buying Gyökeres today because they're playing in the Champions League this week. So yeah, we'll see how we go. I'm staying relatively easy on that, I will say. 2 days before in the chat, exactly, mate. I'm staying pretty open to it, and also the transfer's the wrong word. The Nuno becoming the West Ham manager, I think it changes the demographic of the game now in my mind. We all thought that the West Ham one would be an easy fixture for Arsenal. It probably means they don't change from a defensive point of view. You know, Nuno's defensive football, I don't think is going to really give West Ham more of a chance to score, but I do think he's going to tidy them up defensively. He probably won't have an immediate impact, but at the same time, I do think it probably stops West Ham being one of like the absolute whipping boys. So yeah, that'd be my thoughts. Jemima's got 66 with 2 to play, 311k. Good shout, good stuff. How much points do you think you will finish on? I reckon Raya, Gabriel, Tarkovsky, and Njai should, if I get 16 to 20 points from these, I reckon between 65 and 70 points I'll finish on. I reckon, mate. I'd take 70, I think. If these players score, you know, Tarkovsky and Njai, if they hit DEFCON, do something, it's about 4 points, isn't it? Raya and Gabriel. I think Gabriel has potential for something today. Yeah, I'd say 15 to 20 points from my final 4 I'd be happy with. After 1 week, won't change much. I think he'll immediately change the formation. That's for sure. Do you think Raya will save a pen today as I went Donnarumma? I've no idea, mate. But I do think he's got a good chance of keeping a clean sheet. I just think Arsenal are probably the best defensive club team in world football. I don't think that's an outrageous statement. I mean, in the Champions League, when you look at their data, they've got the best clean sheet odds pretty much every week in the Champions League. I'm quite happy with double Arsenal defence, and I think even at St James's Park they can keep a clean sheet. I hope Fulham don't keep a clean sheet today, mate, because Anderson's on my bench. And he's not even first on my bench either. Voltemada will score, we'll see. Is it smart buying Gabriel for Nico Williams? I do. I would just wait until they've played in the Champions League, though. You know, Gabriel's going to play 180 minutes of football between now and the next FPL deadline. So that's just something to bear in mind. Voltemada will score. You reckon Ekitike scores against Chelsea? I don't know. I just wouldn't go anywhere near Ekitike now. I always get burnt by double Arsenal defence. Interesting. Do you think Bruno will lose pens? It's a fair question. Probably not, but if I was the Man United manager, I'd have a word and suggest that maybe he doesn't take the next one to switch things up a bit. Next 5 game weeks after this, Arsenal keep 4 to 5 clean sheets. The thing is with Arsenal as well as they've got like 6 or 7 solid defenders in their squad, and their midfield is Rice, Marino, Zubamendi. They've got a really solid midfield as well. Senesi or Lacroix? Senesi all day, every day for me, mate. I'd go for Senesi because he doesn't play European football. I need that international break. I don't. I'm quite enjoying FPL at the moment. Who would you sell Bruno Fernandes to? I wouldn't sell him. If you don't have Semenyo, maybe you could get him or Njai. But honestly, I don't think there are many midfielders I'd go for over Bruno still. I think Senesi is the best defender in the game, Nixie, if you were to ask me, pound for pound. Should I see Rodgers for Jadon Anthony? Wait and see what happens today, mate. I'd consider Ismail Assar if you were looking to get rid of Rodgers or Njai. Which 2 of Sarr, Caicedo and Reinders would you pick on a wild card? Caicedo and Sarr, I reckon. Anyone to replace Van de Ven with if you have Van Dijk, Senesi? I wouldn't get rid of Van de Ven. Van Dijk could be the one I'd get rid of. I don't think you need to make a move there, though, Mahir. Do you think Newcastle will score? I don't know. Salah triple captain against United. That is a thing. Would you sell Xavi Simons to Sarr? Wait and see what happens in the Champions League, but maybe. Good place to be, that, Martin. What is the best Wood replacement? Gyökeres, if you can get to him, I think. There's Strand Larson. There's Igor Thiago as well. There's Mateta. Plenty. Is Doku a good track? Not long term, no. Nixie, I still think Senesi is up there as the best defender in the game. Is wildcard a good idea? It depends on the position of your team, really. It's quite hard to answer the question. Thinking of free hit, Tom, so I can get Arsenal defenders and Saka and Bruno, Captain Bruno. Yeah, I don't have the graphic. Do I? Let's see if I can pull it up. So I did a little captaincy matrix on stream the other day. Let's see if I can get that on screen to talk you through. You see that? Hopefully it's not too... In fact, I can make it bigger, couldn't I? Ignore Game Week 7, because... Actually, no, don't ignore Game Week 7. How do I make this bigger? You see that? There you go. So these are in my mind the 5. I haven't got Jokeres as a picture, but I think in FPL right now there are probably 5 players I think are captaincy options. You can disagree or agree, and I pick them from these 5 teams. So Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City. You've obviously got Jokeres for Arsenal. I think he probably overtakes Saka now for Arsenal because he takes the penalties. Chelsea, obviously Palmer when he's back fit is a captaincy shout, I think. Salah is obviously a pick for Liverpool, although he's dropped off this season a bit. You can have a Haaland, of course, for Man City. And then Bruno has been captained before for Man United, of course, and I think is a captaincy shout. And you look at the upcoming fixtures, and I would just say you wanna have coverage of who you think is the best captain every week. And I think Jokeres, I just saw Nixie's comment about him not doing much in open play. I'd agree with that, but I think against the weaker teams, he will prove himself, much like he did against Leeds. I just think he could be a captaincy shout in 10 or 11. Probably 10 more than 11, though. Bruno, he could be a captaincy shout in 12. But you probably captain Salah maybe against Forest. I will make a wildcard draft this afternoon, Matilde, and put it out this evening. But I just think you want to be covered on who you think is the best captain every week. I'm not going to say necessarily who I think is the best captain every week, but you look at that grid and you need to have the best captain every week in your team, in my opinion. Because the captaincy in FPL, as we all know, is really powerful, I think. Best Ndoye replacement, max 8.1 million. I've got to say Semenyo, mate, if you don't have him already. Or Iliam Njai. Ismaila Sarr or Yakuba Minter. I'd say Sarr, because he plays for a better team. I have Van de Ven, Porro, Senesi, Gehi. Nah, I wouldn't make any changes. Where are you in your mini league? Let's have a look. So in my own mini league, I'm 282nd at the moment. Leader is Richard Broadbent, who is on 411 points. I reckon overall he must be smashing it as well. Yeah, he must be in the top 1k overall. I'll take it. Funny enough, though, I had a good week. Overall, I got a 400k green arrow so far, but a red arrow in my own mini league. I think I'm pretty close to wrapping up the stream because I think we've pretty much covered everything that's happened today. If you haven't already, like I said, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like rating. We've got nearly 400 people watching at the moment, and we're on 72 likes. So if we can get to 100 likes by the end of the stream, I would be very grateful. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Golden Goal channel as well. We are closing in on 18,000 subscribers. We have 17,962 at the moment. So if we could hit 18,000 by the end of the stream on your way out, I'd really appreciate that. Yeah, we could end with that, couldn't we? Prediction for the rest of the games. Let's have a look. Prediction for the rest of the games. We can all do it together. There we go. So those are the remaining games today. Villa Fulham, what do we reckon? I think it's going to be 1-1. 1-1 Villa Fulham. I think Rodgers is going to score. And Iwobi will score for Fulham. I think it's going to be 1-1, in my view. What do you guys think? 3-1 Villa, 0-0, 1-1, 0-0, 2-1 Fulham win, 1-1, 2-1. Villa have been poor, haven't they? They have been poor this season. I think if I was to pick a winner in that game, I'm saying Fulham, actually. to be honest with you. But I'm going to say I said 1-1. I'm going to stick with 1-1. Yeah, Anderson's going to score the Fulham goal and get DEFCON, isn't he? Cheers, Harmony. You take care. I hope everything's well with you, by the way. I don't think I said hello when you came in. Newcastle and Arsenal. I'm going 1-0 Arsenal. I'm going 1-0 Arsenal, and I think Gyökeres scores a penalty. That'd be my guess. I think that's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't know how you guys feel, but I just don't see that being a high-scoring game, I've got to say. I don't think that'll be a high-scoring game. What are people saying on Newcastle Arsenal? 1-0 Arsenal, 2-1 Arsenal. See you later, Harmony. 1-1. I'm hoping for an Arsenal clean sheet as well. 2-0 Arsenal, 3-2. You think it's going to be 3-2? Interesting score predictions there. Most saying it's going to be relatively low scoring. Arsenal 4-1, Gyökeres hat-trick. We'll see. Radu, I've answered that question. Oh, Crispy Duck. What should I do with Xavi Simons? Sell for a -4? Nah, I wouldn't worry. There's two reasons why I wouldn't, mate, and I appreciate the donation. One reason I wouldn't is because he plays in the Champions League midweek, and you just don't know what's going to happen. He could get benched for that game, which means he starts in the Premier League next week. Number two, it's the international break. So he's going to go away and play for his country. Whoever you bring in might go away and play for their country as well. Could you imagine if you take a hit right now to sell Xavi Simons, he plays next weekend, does well, and the replacement that you bring in gets injured during international break? I wouldn't do it, mate. I would not do it. But I really appreciate the donation. Give me a good replacement for Kudus, Ismail Assar or Iliam Ndiaye for me. And speaking of Iliam Ndiaye, we've got Everton v West Ham at 8 o'clock on Monday evening. What's our score predictions for this one? I'm going to say 1-1 between the two teams. I think Ndiaye's going to get DEFCON and an assist. Grealish is going to score his first Everton goal. I think it's going to be I don't think Everton are going to bang in the goals, because I think Nuno is going to set up West Ham to be more resolute than they were under Graham Potter. I think there's going to be an element of new manager bounce as well. I don't know how you feel, but I think there'll be a bit of new manager bounce. So yeah, I'm going to say, actually, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to say 2-1 to Everton. 2-1 to Everton, but it'd be a close game. I just think Ndiaye is one of the best players in the game, to be honest. We've seen enough from him. If you don't agree with me, I will explain to you my reasoning for suggesting that. So his points so far, 2, 8, 7, 5, 6. He's done the points. He's playing good minutes. He's, I think, also the Everton penalty taker, if I'm not mistaken. And he's getting DEFCON. Where are the DEFCON? Here they are. 12 DEFCON against Liverpool, 14 against Villa, 8, 8 and 9, averaging 11 basically. I mean, 10.98 is basically 11. So he's one off DEFCON on his average. I think he's great. Just waiting for him to get a penalty, basically. And a Tarkowski clean sheet as well. We'll see. I think Tarkowski will get DEFCON. Whether he keeps a clean sheet or not, I don't know. I think Bowen's dangerous, isn't he? Bowen and Paquetá are dangerous. And I think that Nuno will know what he's doing. Like, I think the system that he played at Forest will work quite well for West Ham. Like with Somerville, Bowen, Füllkrug and Paquetá, I think they've got good players to suit the Nuno style of play. They're not going to be exactly the same as Forest, but I do think he's going to get them playing well. Wan-Bissaka's out. I think he's got a stomach issue, but I think he could come in and do a job for Nuno. And I think Diouf at left wing back could be dangerous as well. Right. He could buy Chris Wood, couldn't he? That'd be funny. But I think Füllkrug you're gonna see the best of Füllkrug under Nuno. I think Füllkrug is brilliant. All right, I think that concludes the stream. I just want to say thank you everyone that tuned in. I really appreciate it. Like I said, if you can leave a like rating on the stream on your way out. We're on 95 at the moment. Let's see if we can hit 100. Make sure to hit subscribe as well. We are 34 away from 18,000 subscribers. So if we could in any way hit that by the end of today, I would be over the moon. I will endeavour to get a video out for you this evening. Just a quick poll actually. Could you put yes in the chat if you're? I'm going to bring the chat back up. If you're using your wild card in Game Week 7, let me know in the chat. I want a view of what the FPL demographic is, because I'm deciding whether to make a wild card draft video tonight. So yeah, let us know if you're on your wild card. I think most probably used it in Game Week 6, didn't they? I'm just debating whether I make a video about wildcard today or do it like Tuesday night instead. Game Week 8 wildcard, saving it. No. Okay. Doesn't look like we got many wildcarders. Okay, yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope you have a good day, rest of your day today. Good luck for the couple of games we've got today, and I'll see you this evening. I'll probably do an ultimate guide video in that case. So yeah, I'll see you this evening. Thanks everyone for watching and tuning in. I try my best to keep on top of the chat. These streams are really well attended now, which I'm very grateful for. But at the same time, it's quite hard to read every message. So I'm doing my best. And anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.